Welcome to this presentation of Macbeth by William Shakespeare in radio play format, performed and sound edited by members of the Pace Performing Arts BFA acting class of 2021. We would like to thank the BFA acting faculty for all of their help, and our fellow classmates in As You Like It and The Taming of the Shrew for their friendship, talent, and unwavering support. Enjoy the show.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath,
There to meet with
Macbeth.
Anon!
fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that?
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought 'gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, from the western isles of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, carved out his passage till he faced the slave and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, but the Norwegian lord with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict till that the valiant Macbeth, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness!
But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
A drum! A drum! Macbeth doth come!
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to fours? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it. Live you? Or are you aught that man may question?
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter!
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo!
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I'm Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane route that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king,
and Thane of Cawdor too. Want it not so?
to the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you to the crown besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
The supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in the truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature?
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and that more time the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends!
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin! The sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe, and doing it pays itself.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee, and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So, humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
They have met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report. They have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title, before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time, with hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who wert so would have informed for preparation.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the suite of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the top toe full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up access in the passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee from the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like thinnest flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
I have observed the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God ild us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service, in every point, twice done and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, and 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surceased success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. He's here in double trust, first as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He's almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not, he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem?
Pretty peace! I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst to do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only, when in swinish sleep their drenched nature lie as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received, when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other? We shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death.
I'm settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, my son?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
Heavy summons lies like lead upon me. And yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend!
What, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. I dreamt last night of 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them, yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
so I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear, I shall be counselled.
Good repose to quiet.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? Thou marshalled me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. And on thy blade a dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Whiles I threat, he lives, words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their posets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack! I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss him. My husband!
Shh, I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream, and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
Oh, a foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one that laugh in sleep, and will grab murder the day they'd wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen the other. Listening their fear, I could not say Amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce Amen? I have most need of blessing and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it'll make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Glums hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Oh, go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleeping grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I've done. Look on again, I dare not.
Oh, infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with all, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is't with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Is knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning key. Knock, knock, knock! Who's there? The name of Beelzebub. Oh, here's a farmer that hang himself on the expectation of plenty. Knock, knock. Who's there? The other devil's name. Faith, here's an equivocator who committed treason enough for God's sake. Not equivocate to heaven. No, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, there's an English sailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, 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 knock. Never a quiet. What are you? Oh, but this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. Anon, anon, I pray you. Remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you did lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight, in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
Oh, horror, tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is to say? The life? Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain! Malcolm! Awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself! Ring the bell!
What's business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas! What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
And I but died an hour before this chance I'd lived a blessed time.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not note. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh. By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause or reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me, Hans. Oh.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for hours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us?
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further. I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there are daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer the bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse.
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Does it Macbeth hath slain?
Alas, the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmakill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. Lest our old road sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why by the verities of thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? Hush no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Are you to horse? Adieu. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon's.
Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till sen at night. While then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure. Bring them before us. Our fears in Banquo stick deep. There is none but he whose being I do fear. He chid the sisters and bade them speak to him, then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filled my mind, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them, the seeds of Banquo kings. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was Banquo in times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference.
You made it known to us?
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
In the catalogue you go for men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it. And I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do despite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance to mend it, or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Within this hour I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy, the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace. And with him Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find hen, must find it out tonight.
Naught's had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died, with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We've scorched the snake, not killed it. Ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy.
Gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo, present him eminence both with eye and tongue, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife! Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives.
But in them, nature's copies not a turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Shh. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day, and here approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there! Ho!
Then 'tis he.
'Tis he!
Stand to it.
It will rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh! Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly, fly, fly! Damnation, revenge! Oh, slave!
There's but one down. The sign is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair. Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Be large in mirth, and I will drink and measure the table round. There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's, then.
'Tis better he without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats, yet he's good that did the like for Fleance.
Most royal, sir. Fleance has escaped.
Then comes my fit again. But Banquo safe?
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 drenched gashes on his head. The least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Mwah. Now good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here have we now our country's honor roofed, where the graced person of our Banquo present.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. If much you note him, you shall offend him, and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am the bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold, look! Lo, how say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst nod, speak too?
What, quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood hath been shed. Murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die and there an end. But now they rise again.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, feel full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
Heads, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, heads! Why, so, being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting, with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? When now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go, at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as gore.
You lack the season of all natures, sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries. 'Tis time! 'Tis time!
Sweltered venom, sleeping gut, boil thou first ere the charmed pot.
Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog.
Add thereto a tiger's chaldron, pour the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open, locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is to do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see.
Come, high or low, thyself an officer show.
Tell me thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Night! Dismiss me enough!
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Now 3 years I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? What is this?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion mettled, proud and take no care. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet Bodman's good. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you! Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
So you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Can they not buy you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts be thought and done, the castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife. To leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fit of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. I take my leave of you, my pretty cousin. Blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool should I stay longer.
Sira, your father's dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird.
My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. For they're liars and swears enow to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk'st.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. Be not found here. Hence with your little ones.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, and to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain.
You egg! Young fry of treachery!
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry.
This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell.
I have lost my hopes.
Why in this rawness left you wife and child without leave-taking? You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkst.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, It bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands.
Not in the legions of horrid hell could come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours.
But I have none the good becoming graces. I have no relish of them. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell. Uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland! Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction, stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee died every day she lived. Fare thee well, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. For even now I put myself to thy direction. What I am, truly, is thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men, already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See, who comes here? My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
Sir, amen.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant is not battered at their peace?
They were well at peace when I did leave them. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern then?
Oh, let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess of it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, all. What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Disputed like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on but not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Bring thou this fiend to Scotland and myself, within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for the shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
Doctor, when was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field,
I've seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth the paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
Look how she rubs her hands.
I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her.
Out, damn spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Why then? 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and afeard? What need we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this starting.
Or go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh!
What a sigh is there? The heart is sorely charged. This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of On's grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. 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 Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. So good night. My mind, she has mated and amazed my sight.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
What does the tyrant?
Great Duncanine he strongly fortify. Some say he's mad, other the lesser hate him, do call it valiant fury.
Now does he feel his secret murderer sticking on his hands. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love.
Well, march we on to give obedience where 'tis truly owed.
Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports, let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood removed to Duncanine, I cannot taint with fear. Where saw that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir. The English force so please you.
Take thy face hence. Seyton! I am sick at heart when I behold... Seyton, I say! This push will cheer me ever or to seek me now.
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, that was reported.
Send up more horses, skirt the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How is your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put mine armor on! Give me my staff. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane, away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery earn report of us.
It shall be done.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Gracious, my lord, I shall report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Within this 3 mile you may see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive. I pull resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. Ring the alarm bell. Blow, wind! Come, wreck! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down, and show like those you are.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They've tied me to a stake. I cannot fly. But bear-like, I must fight the course.
That way the noises. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not. Turn! Hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword.
Thou losest labour. As easy mayst thou the entrenching air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as a rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, hold enough!
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet, by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head? The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What more to do is calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So, thanks to all at once, and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone!